So, Stacey, tell us a little bit about you and your kind of healing journey and what got you into, all of these raw vegan foods and holistic healing.
Yeah, I grew up as I grew up pretty sick, actually. And it's just so funny because, like, my mom, my parents would not say that. But when I look back, like, I think that just, I think my mom, like, would downplay it, like, oh, you weren't that bad. Like, it's just that it's so normalized in this country that, like, kids are on antibiotics on a normal basis,
Hmm.
and that kids have stomach aches often, or that they get bronchitis, or they have asthma. Like, these are all things that I struggled with, and
Okay.
I used to get cold sores like all the time. And I also was on antibiotics pretty often. I had chronic bronchitis all the time. Like I said, I had eczema, I had asthma, and, like, oh shoot, there's something really going on with noise.
Is there? Okay, let me switch it then. Keep going.
Okay, sorry. It's like I can't see you, so I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Is it better
the,
now?
yeah, it's good. Yeah. So I was sick as a kid. So being on all those antibiotics, I know it absolutely destroyed my gut. And I started having gut issues like in junior high, and I kind of just struggled through. I struggled through a lot of problems with like feeling like I had no control when it came to like processed foods. And I used to, I just used to eat the standard American diet, and I could not get off of it. Like, I was very, very hooked on these foods, and it was just not good. And then when it was like 15 years ago. I was still struggling. I had the party lifestyle. I was eating, like, my rock bottom point was when I was eating ice cream with coffee poured over it for breakfast one morning, and I really am not in a good space right now. And even though I've never been in the, like, overweight or obese category,
Hmm.
like where you hear a lot of people struggle with, they're like, I was just, overweight. No, that's not where I was. I was just super uncomfortable in my body, and I was just not well. And I was living life, but I wasn't well. And we went, I saw a documentary called Fast Food Nation. My eyes were opened, and that was 15 years ago. And I have journeyed through into a plant-based lifestyle for the last 15 years. And I am still on a healing journey. I really, truly think, my entire childhood and everything has just been, I've been healing, and I'm still healing, and I help other people who are on their own healing journey too now, whether it's, raw food, or whether it's whole food plant-based eating, and so much more. It's so much more than just food, but yeah, I want to help people heal holistically, and that's what I do. I used to own a Pilates studio. Like, tons of stuff has happened in the last 15 years that have been just, I give most of the credit to the change in what I ate, and that was
Okay.
transitioning to whole plant foods. It
Okay.
has helped support my body in so many ways, my mind, my body, my entire existence.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Absolutely. I've transformed my health as well. So
I
I know what
want to
you're
know
talking about.
a little bit about your story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking. Yeah, so I've actually I became a vegetarian when I was only 11 years of age. So
Wow.
I just, for my love of animals, and then I learned more about health and nutrition and got really interested in that part of it. So continued on my plant-based journey for 26 years, and then I transitioned into high raw vegan, and that's been for the past 15 years.
Wow.
Um, at one point, I did allow myself to gain a lot of weight. So I knew better. I wanted to be a holistic health practitioner when I graduated high school. And I just kind of didn't make myself a priority for a couple of years. And got my health back on track when I went, full force into high raw vegan and did intense cleansing and detoxifying with, herbal tinctures and tonics and juices and raw foods and just went on that journey and got my health back. And, I went to different culinary, schools, Matthew Kenny Culinary in Venice. And,
that's so awesome. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it was awesome. And so I got, my raw chef skills, and I do holistic coaching as well. And just really love to share the lifestyle because of the experiences that I've been through and just the countless hours of recipe creations and learning to make this food that is so nourishing and healing for our bodies. And we can share that with others. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and my background. And just excited. I mean, I think for me too, I've experienced firsthand, how to detox the body and heal it. And I truly believe that God designed our bodies to heal themselves of anything. We just have to start doing what's right for them and stop doing the thing that's hurting them. So yeah. So what about what your kind of schedule looks like? I love that you're on your treadmill, by the way. I've been wanting to get one of those so you can walk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You mean like my daily schedule?
Yeah. Your daily
schedule,
your food and exercise.
Yeah. So, well, I've been on since last year. Things kind of, okay. Like I said, I grew up kind of like weak, with a weak immune system, if you will, right?
Okay.
And so last year I actually got food poisoning in January. And basically lots of things started manifesting. And I had to go and seek help from an integrative gut health dietitian. And we found that I had viral overload. And so I have been on this journey for over a year now, healing from that, because I believe it completely wiped out my gut. And I was unwell. So I've been dealing with like histamine problems for the last year and things that I'd never dealt with before, like food sensitivities and stuff like that. Nightshade sensitivities. It's been so crazy to deal with. And it's giving me this whole new like sensitivity to people who want to eat healthy, whole food, plant-based, right? But are struggling with that. So anyways, my current routine is different than it looked like just a year ago because of that huge setback of just getting food poisoning. And then really it was just kind of like a one thing after another. We started unfolding, like finding these things that I need to really heal from. And, Epstein-Barr virus and cytomegalovirus. And like I said, I grew up with cold sores and like my immune system's just been like rocked. And, ever since COVID and anyways.
Yeah.
So I have really slowed it down in terms of like exercise. So like right now I'm walking, yes, but I don't push myself to this like extreme anymore. Like you won't find me in like a hot vinyasa yoga class right now. I'm just taking it easy. I'm making sure that I'm moving my lymphatic system in one way or another. On most days, I'm prioritizing walking at least 2 to 3 miles. Ideally, I used to be like 5 miles a day. I'm walking 5 miles a day. That's happening for sure. And, I used to own a Pilates studio. I think there's tremendous healing that can happen from even just very gentle Pilates or even yin yoga, I don't think that people have to go and do crazy stuff, but truly every single person is very different. But if somebody is dealing with autoimmune issues, or they get really inflamed super easily, or they're just trying to protect their immune system and rebuild their body, I think that gentle movement is key, just so that we stay out of this like sympathetic state, right? And we stay more in parasympathetic so that we have the ability to heal, even though we're continuing some sort of mind-body connection, some sort of movement. So anyway, that was a really long way to begin what my day might look like.
No, it's good.
Because like last year at one point, it like Rosie, it was not fun. Like I was actually like eating just white rice for like a few weeks. Like I was having, it was just awful. I was having all of these horrible
Oh
symptoms.
my gosh.
And I mean, that's all I could really get. And I was like, well, I have to get calories and I'm not going to drink oil.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to eat white rice because I was being triggered by all these beautiful, healthy foods that like I used to be able to thrive on, right?
Yeah.
But this viral overload was really getting me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to knock it out. So, um, anyways, with that said, the last month and a half, almost 2 months now, I've been living mostly completely raw. And I take our son to Woodstock Fruit Festival, and we went. It was in Miami this year. It was so fun. And that was like a really great way for me to just be like, okay, I know that you're sensitive to bananas right now, Stacey, but you're going to be fine with bananas because these are different bananas. These are local bananas. Like, and like I had to prepare my mind and stuff like that. But like, I removed myself from, the stress at home. So I was like, well, that's going to be one way to heal. So I removed myself from the stress at home. It was in a warm environment versus me being in a cold environment in Indiana.
Okay.
And I was surrounded by really, chill people, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I thrived on the raw food. And, I really think that there's so much to be said about local produce.
Yeah.
And making sure, like if you're on a true healing journey and you have like a super sensitive gut going on, like making sure that you're getting local and like things that are easy to digest for your body. I think that made a huge difference. But for me, currently right now, I'm eating a lot of raw food. So like you'll find me waking up early. I like to wake up early. 5:30ish. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 6. No later than 6, that's for sure. I like to eat my food early. So currently I've been starting my day with juices, which is something that I know you like juice.
Yeah.
For the last like 4 years, and again, I've been plant-based for like 15. The last 4 years, I've been like, people need to stop drinking juice. It's just spiking your blood sugar. It's just spiking your blood sugar.
Yeah.
It's triggering your sugar addictions, blah, 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 blah. But I totally understand the concept of a raw living juice versus a pasteurized juice that you're going to get at the grocery store. There's a difference, okay?
Absolutely.
There's a difference. And for me, since I was having those gut sensitivities, I've been starting my day with like large amounts of coconut water and high dose ginger juice. That has been helping me tremendously with histamine, with inflammation, with even my nightshade sensitivity. So I don't know. I'm sold on this like concept.
Yeah.
So I've started with that instead of, and I could start with a green juice, but what I'm finding is that is really good just to start the day.
Yep.
And then I go immediately into eating like, I don't know if you've tried the raw wraps from Lissa's handbook, hand salads book. Have you tried that? That's in the bundle.
I have. Lisa and I had them together on our live yesterday.
Okay. Like I mean, I've been making them for a year now because her book has been out for a while.
Okay.
I'm obsessed. Like they're so good. And for me, they just help my gut so much. I don't know if it's the inulin from the onions or a combination of the psyllium husk with the inulin from the onions and the pectin from the apple. I'm not sure. But for me, it's a really great way to get a good amount of calories in because you can stuff those wraps with all sorts of stuff. Yeah, and I like it to be stuffed with like really finely shredded carrots, really finely shredded zucchini, things that I don't have to chew a ton because I was talking with Lissa last night. Like I can get symptoms of IBS or SIBO like pretty easily. I can get really bloated, I could get constipated. Like I just have had a sensitive gut my entire life, right? And for me, having food that's like shredded and that I don't have to go and chew a lot because I am a lazy eater, I will say. I don't want to take the time to chew, so I kind of like shred things up a lot to make it easier on my digestibility. So I would have like one of those and, fruit, Really, I try to intuitively listen to my body and what I
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Like, bananas, nice cream. I love nice cream. I've
Mhm.
been really loving from the raw recipes. I made sprouted chickpea burgers, and like I
Mhm.
really have felt good on those, which is awesome. So I had a few of those like early this morning. I try very hard, Rosie, to cut my window of eating off early. And I was
Mhm.
chatting with Ted Carr this morning. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I interviewed him for my podcast, and I was asking him the same thing. And like, he stops eating at 11:30 a.m. And I'm like, dude, I gotta get on your level. Like,
Wow.
um, I mean, like, I try to just eat all of my calories as early as I possibly can because it makes such a difference in my sleep. Like,
Yeah.
just the biggest difference. And like, sleep is just essential to
Mhm.
everything that I do. So,
Absolutely.
it's like the cornerstone of wellness. And then it comes the food, right? Like,
Yeah.
sleep is so important. So, what about you? What does a day in your life look like
Yeah.
for,
Well,
wellness?
yeah. 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 So absolutely. I'm gonna, touch on the juicing too, like you mentioned, and I'm so big into juicing. I've been juicing for 30 years, and and I've heard, like you said, you were like, people would say, why juice, or they think that it's just such a blood sugar spike and whatnot. And the way that I like to educate is because if people have compromised immune systems or they have intestinal challenges
Yeah.
and they cannot extract the nutrients from the fiber rich healthy foods they're eating, then
Yeah.
they're not going to get the nutrients they need. And that's why I feel that juicing plays such an essential role, because it can actually bypass that digestive system, get directly absorbed into the bloodstream, into the cells, and the
Yep.
body can have access to the nutrients it needs to flourish and heal and
Yeah.
regenerate. And then that person can get that nutrients that they need that they may not be able to get otherwise, because their intestines are having such challenges digesting and absorbing any nutrients from the healthy food even that they're eating. So I like to explain it
100%.
that way, which I know you understand because you've been juicing more lately. And even when I'm eating, all raw, completely healthy, and drinking a lot of water, having my smoothies, having my water-rich foods, if I don't have like my fresh juice that day, I can tell the difference. I can tell
Wow.
the difference. So I think it's a nice component, even if it's just one 16-ounce, 24-ounce juice a day,
Yeah.
And there are other times, where I do a lot more than that because I'm, just flooding my system for those absorbable nutrients or cleansing or healing or whatever. So yeah, it's been a huge, huge part of my life for over 30 years. And going in and out of it, like if I would stop for a while, oh, tremendous difference in my health, tremendous difference in my
Yeah.
skin, in my energy, and everything. So it's a very important part of, the whole foods diet, the raw foods diet. For me, it plays an integral part of it all. Now, the other thing I'm going to touch on is because you mentioned the chewing, and I thought that was interesting because that's something that I like to talk about, because not only if somebody's a lazy chewer, like you said, which most people I think are, because we don't chew 50 times a mouthful like we're supposed to. Not
Right.
only that, people don't want to do that. They're lazy, or they don't have the time, or they're having teeth challenges or molars that are missing, or they have
Right.
TMJ dysfunction, and there's issues with chewing. So once again, even though it would be nice if we could all chew like crazy and eat all this food, people have challenges. So that's where that juice sneaking in can be that transfusion of highly absorbable nutrients that the body needs, and they get it just like that.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. And that, I think that that's really important to mention. Um, and maybe I chatted with Lissa about this or not, I don't remember, but like that's pretty much the same principle as like when people say like, well, that she went on a plant-based diet and she just wasn't getting her nutrients in. So, we reincorporated, high quality animal products. Like
Right.
that that's fine. That's fine. But listen, both don't have fiber. So
Right.
that's the whole point. So both of them don't have fiber. So yeah, can you unlock nutrients from animal products if you're suffering with gut issues? Yes, you can, because it doesn't have fiber, right? It's the
Right.
same thing with juice. It's the same thing with juice. But do you want to protect your body with the
Yeah.
phytonutrients that are so disease fighting, right? And that we literally take plant medicine for. Like, that is what herbs are extracted for. That is what like true healing medicine is from, right? Like, do we want to, which one do we want to do, right? Because they're both an elimination diet in some fashion. They're both an elimination, right? An elimination of fiber. Until we can build up that gut microbiome again, I think it's more important to get the phytonutrients in. The phytonutrients, the plant nutrient, right?
Plant nutrients, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and it's in liquid absorbable form, you know, and when I did my detox, the 30-day detox, and I was healing, I was drinking a lot of juices and teas and tinctures and raw food. So like you said, the phytonutrients just flooding my body, you know, with all of those nutrients to heal and regenerate. And, you know, for me, just being exclusively plant-based or all raw, it's, I don't know, just the nutrients from it and the life force is just so much different, I think, you know, from other diets.
A friend of mine who's a raw foodie, and it's just so funny because we don't have any science to back this up. Like, I'm a girl that likes science. Like, I love evidence-based nutrition. That's one of the reasons why my family lives plant-based, because I like evidence-based nutrition. Okay. And like, so I love the fact that we can get science to show us what is good for us, right? But again, like a friend of mine who's been living raw for a long time, like, she just says this, like, and it's pretty simple and it's pretty true. It's totally up to you how high of a vibration you want to live on. Like, how high of a vibration do you want to live on? And like, the more raw, like, the more you feel high, like, on life. It's really fascinating. And I was chatting with Car this morning about that. I was like, if people would just give themselves a chance to like live raw for like 1 or 2 weeks, just to see and feel the difference, their mind would be like, wow, you know, their mind would probably change about a lot of things.
That's kind of like, so my book, and I want to hear what you have in the bundle too. My book is 7-Day Juice and Meal Plan. So I have raw food dressings in there.
Juice is very elaborate.
Yeah, thank you. And so I just like you were saying, if somebody just tries it for a while, and this really works well, because, you know, I have the feedback from people saying, okay, we did this for 7 days. I feel better. I feel stronger. I feel healthy. I want to keep doing it. So you can notice a tremendous difference even in just 7 days. And there's a lot of fiber in this diet, you know, and you have the juice infusion and the smoothies. So the intestines, the colon, the bowels, everything just gets moving so well, and the body can detox itself because you're flooding it with all of these nutrients. Like you were talking about the wraps, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, just all of that fiber. So I made Lissa's pizza herb wrap, and then I loaded it with like everything I had on hand and that I liked: my sauerkraut, my avocados, my shredded cabbage, my sprouted fenugreek, just so much stuff, you know, bell peppers, anything I could find.
That sounds phenomenal.
It was so fat.
Oh, I gotta do that. That sounds so good.
You gotta see it.
I love onion sprouts. Do you ever have them?
Onion sprouts? I don't think I've sprouted the onions, but
and
the
like,
radishes?
I have, like, what you
say? Do you like the radishes? Are they similar?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I sprout like all things. I think I've maybe even tried fenugreek like one time, but onion. Like, I interviewed Dr. Will Bolsowitz multiple times for my podcast, and like, you know, the one who wrote Fiber Fueled, and interviewed Doug Evans. You know, he sent me his new sprout jar. The Sprout Man, you know, the Sprout dude. And like, and even who else? Dr. Furman. Like, I've interviewed all 3 of them, and I was like, are you on the onion sprouts yet? Now, of course, Doug Evans was like, yes, of course. And he gave some tips on how to get them sprouted, because onion seeds are kind of hard to sprout, I will say. But they're freaking worth it.
Ooh, I gotta try.
So worth it. But actually, Dr. Will Bolsowitz, the gastroenterologist, the reason why he actually has onion sprouts in his book is because of me. And he's like, I really should have put you in that book. I'm like, you really should have given me a shout out, because they changed his life. Like they taste so good. And then I was talking to Dr. Furman about them too. I'm like, can you imagine the allicin content in those? Like if sulforaphane
Yeah.
is really high in broccoli sprouts versus the mature broccoli, can you imagine the allicin content, the cancer fighting protection of allicin in the sprout of the onion? I mean,
That's crazy.
you've got to try them. They just take the flavor next level.
Oh, that
So
sounds
good.
yeah. I mean, because the garlic, is with the allicin in it. That's
Yes.
something that I've always used for healing, and if the sprouts, the onion sprouts, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Fenugreek, I have like
Game
all the
changing.
time. Yeah,
Fenugreek, that just sounds so good. I got to do that
yeah.
like now.
The fenugreek is pretty amazing. When I went to the Optimum Health Institute, like, I don't know, 20 plus years ago, I started sprouting them back then with the wheatgrass and everything. And the thing I really love about the fenugreek sprouts is that they're an excellent liver cleanser. So it really helps the liver to detox. Plus, this is so exciting. When you eat them, you will literally smell like caramel.
Oh
You
my
will
God.
smell like
Doesn't
sweet
surprise me.
caramel. Yeah, it's amazing. So
Oh
that
my
is my
God.
favorite sprout. I sprout them in my kitchen. I have them going all the time. So
I love that.
yeah.
And I love that you brought up liver detoxification
Mhm.
because that is what one of my contributions in the bundle. And I will say it is definitely not all raw. I created this with my friend, Dr. Steph Peacock, and we wanted to make something that was like, because I do believe that I think that like raw would be the best for liver detoxification.
Uh-huh.
But we're trying to talk to people who are like just really reluctant to actually even adopting just eating plants. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So, so we gave simple nutrients that can help the different phases of liver detoxification. She goes over the different phases, and I go over the specific nutrients that can help with that. And then I do a little cooking demo of like what a day in the life of liver detoxification with just whole food plant-based eating would look like.
Okay.
Um, and there is like a juice that has, there's like a beet juice. It's really good.
Mhm.
But there's even tofu in that if somebody needs that, because there is some evidence that whole organic soy products could help the liver. Somebody
Yeah.
said, I just popped on. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Any recs for keeping regular, trying to have daily bowel movements so that I can liver detox safely and effectively. Yeah, no, Amy, I think that it's hilarious that you accidentally made a typo and it said I just pooped on. Because your question was right about that.
Exactly.
But no, I know you meant popped on. So that's so funny. I have tips. I have I have tips because I actually struggle with regularity and motility, slow motility, because I have a hypothyroidism. Now, I my thyroid crashed when I used to be a Pilates studio owner, and I was trying to do literally all the things. All the things. I was trying to be a teacher. I was trying to clean. I was trying to uh, manage. I was doing like all the things. Plus, I went off birth control, which I was on for like 16 straight years or more, maybe
Oh, wow.
more. And yeah, my thyroid completely crashed after that. So ever since then, I've had some motility issues, and that's really frustrating. Even if you eat a ton of fiber, that doesn't necessarily mean, right, that that things are just gonna move like a nice flowing river.
Right.
But my best, this is a supplement, but I am obsessed with Magnesium Breakthrough from BioOptimizers. I
Mm.
think it is like one of the best products ever.
Yeah.
It's just a blend of 7 different magnesiums, and for me, it helps so much with regularity. So I take 2 of those capsules a day. That's the only supplement that I'm taking right now outside of vitamin D, which I am pretty
Okay.
low in, thanks to living in Indiana. But I take 2 capsules of that per day, and that really, really helps me a lot, so much. And then also moving, just
Yeah.
again, not taxing your body where you're
Mhm.
like, well, I'm gonna go and like run a 5K like right now, or like I'm
Mhm.
gonna do a HIIT workout. Like it, just gentle movement will help to mobilize the internal
Yeah.
organs. Um, And then I also really truly believe in the power of legs up the wall every single day. I do this every day.
Okay.
Every day. I lay on my back and I put my legs up the wall, and maybe I'm listening to a podcast, maybe I'm editing a reel, whatever I'm doing, I'm doing it because I believe that it actually helps my digestion. Not only, I think that that's really linked to just me keeping my stress levels low. Because if you're in a state of fight or flight, like the last thing your body cares about is like keeping, is healing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that really, like the movement really helps the peristaltic motion of the intestines. So it's going to help, that natural movement, that wave for you to go to the bathroom more often. And then hydration, of course, because if we're dehydrated, we're not going to go to the bathroom. You're going to have hard stools that could lead to hemorrhoids. So yeah, and just, drinking all you can, getting more liquids in, and consider taking the magnesium supplement that you, Stacey, mentioned. I take enzymes and probiotics. I just really love that. It keeps everything just flowing.
What kind of enzymes do you take? What kind of enzymes?
I take the proteolytic enzymes. So I've had taken the Masszymes before from Optimizers, and I kind of go back and forth. I have Pyridine right now, so I go back and forth between the two. I've scrutinized and looked at those two, and those are actually my top two favorite companies. So
yeah,
kind of go back and forth.
Pyridine is network marketing, correct?
No, it's not. Lou Corona.
Okay.
Lou Corona. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Maybe
it's not.
I think I'm thinking of Purium or something like that.
Yeah, Purium. Yeah. So those are some tips that might help you guys, and just really getting those bowels, your intestines in a healthy state for that motion to move, and then adding that fiber slowly in, because if you're constipated or you have impacted pouches and you're not eliminating correctly, and then you add in all of this food and fiber, you got to watch out. So you got to make sure you're really getting those intestines to move freely. Let's see, I think we have another question.
Yep.
I heard you both mention onion and fenugreek sprouts, but how about the garlic sprouts? Oh, I love fresh garlic itself. I don't usually do the sprouts, but what about you, Stacey?
Yeah, no, I have not had any luck with garlic seeds sprouting. I mean, it's just hilarious. Like we have a farm and we grow produce for the farmers market, and like we have just not been able to sprout. They're really hard to sprout. If you can get them to sprout, eat the sprouts. Eat the garlic sprouts. I mean, bomb diggity, right? Like super high in allicin. But we actually have had better luck sprouting onion seeds or leek seeds. But yeah, I mean, if you can get those garlic seeds to sprout, good on you. That would be amazing.
Yeah. So what other foods can we talk about? What would you recommend other foods to include in the diet for healthy daily detox?
Yeah, I think, and we go over like particulars in the mini course that Dr. Steph Peacock and I made. But I really truly just believe if people can eat more whole plant foods, you're going to be supporting your detoxification pathways. Why? Because fiber is going to be pulling out exogenous hormones that are making your hormones out of whack. They're going to be, pulling out those xenoestrogens that are making you feel like crap, that are in our environment, that you're exposed to on a daily basis without even realizing it, because it's in plastic, it's in our water, it's in the air. So any whole plant foods really truly are going to be so beneficial, even if they are not raw and if they are cooked. I'm talking like whole grains, beans, nuts and seeds, fruits and vegetables. Now, if you want to take it to another level, you can start to eat more raw if your gut can handle it, right?
Yeah.
And you can start to juice more. You can start to sprout more. You can start to soak the nuts and the seeds. You can take all of these extra steps to support your liver detoxification pathways. But I mean, I'm just foods like asparagus and avocado and cruciferous vegetables are actually wonderful for glutathione production, which is our master antioxidant, and they're liver supporting foods as well. So are onions. So are beets. There are a lot of different foods that we can eat to support the liver, and really anything that we can eat to amplify the glutathione production. That's what we want to be doing.
Right.
Somebody asked, do you do raw mushrooms? What do you do, Rosie? I don't do raw mushrooms. Maybe I think only shiitake if I were to eat raw mushrooms, and I can't remember where I read that. But then Dr. Furman, he's like, you need to eat only cooked mushrooms. Like, that's the one thing that's not the best to eat raw. But like, you know what? I don't think that they're bad to eat raw. Where do you lay with that?
I actually love raw mushrooms. I love the baby gorillas. And I also like to marinate them and dehydrate them and make it like a yummy filling. So, but yeah, I eat them raw a lot. And it's just out of convenience, and it's a snack. And I actually love the texture and the taste of it. And I'll just dip it into my raw vegan dressings. And it's just, So my body loves it. Gives me, just more roughage, and the system seems to handle it beautifully.
Beautiful. I love marinated dehydrated mushrooms. Like, I'm obsessed. So I don't always expose them to higher heat than 115 degrees. But if I, leave them in there for a good amount of time, I'm like, it's good. It's getting rid of the agarotine that Dr. Furman says we should not be eating raw, but like, whatever. I think honestly, it's totally fine. And I think that people are not eating enough mushrooms. They're so cancer fighting. The ergothioneine in there are so beneficial. So whether you're eating adaptogenic mushrooms or baby bella mushrooms or shiitake or chanterelle or whatever, or morels, if you go hunting, or puffballs, get them in if you can. Somebody asked, does dandelion tea help detoxify the liver? Yes, and so does dandelion root. There are so many herbs that we can lean on for liver health, and I mean, a ton of different herbs and herbal teas, and anything we can do to just reduce the stress and reduce the inflammation in our body, that's going to give our liver a break. Our liver is like the detoxifying organ that is just working all of the time. And we have to do whatever we can do to support it, not just through the food, but making sure that our water is clean and that we're not adding more pollutants into our digestive tract, and that our air is clean. So open your windows if you're living inside, like get the outdoor air inside, maybe get some air filters, right? Like, these things really matter. It's not just the food. Now, what do you think about liver detoxification supplements? We did not touch on that in the course. I want to know what you think. Somebody asked that.
For liver detox supplements, I've done liver cleanses before, and the ones that I usually take when I'm doing like an intense one, not only the food, but I've taken Dr. Richard Scholl's, so the herb pharmacy. He's in Marina Del Rey. You can order his products, but anyhow, he has liver tincture detox and a detox tea. So I do like it. I do like his tea mixture, because I think it's important to support and give our body those extra components of these healing powers that are in these herbs and these tinctures. So I like to do that. I like to do, and I'm going to do an intense one. There's different drinks you can make with, lemons and garlic in it and ginger root, and it's like an intensified healing drink. Now, I will share that when I did, we're talking liver, but gallbladder, liver, it's all going to work together. When I first did my 30-day detox, and I took the liver flush drink, it's a liver gallbladder flush drink, and it has tons of garlic in it, ginger, orange, lemon, and I have the recipe. I have to reference it, but when you drink it, it's strong, of course, but I literally could feel, because I healed myself from gallstones. I actually healed myself and did an intense liver gallbladder cleanse. I can literally feel like my gallbladder, like pulse, like it moved. It was so amazing when I first took that flush drink, and it did it the very first time, and then it didn't do it anymore. And it was amazing. It was like it just gave it like a kick or like a punch. And so it worked really, really well for me. And I was able to just heal myself naturally doing, intense cleanses. So I like to add the teas and the herbs to there. If you're really targeting something specific and you're going through something major, with your liver or your gallbladder, and you need some extra help, as opposed to just the normal high raw healthy way of eating, but you need something more targeted. Yeah. Right. What would you add, Stacey?
Yeah. I mean, I just think high doses of greens are going to be super helpful as well. And I know that's not a supplement, but like, and he's not a doctor, but you could look into some protocols from the medical medium Anthony William. Like, he has got a lot of liver supporting recipes, and some supplements that you can look into, like cat's claw and and other things. I will also mention that I recently started working with a new holistic beauty brand that's from Europe, and it's like beauty from the inside out and outside in. And I have found a lot of good evidence on olive leaf extract for liver health. It actually has been shown to reverse non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing finding, because a lot of the times our liver is full of fat. That's actually what's causing a lot of the slowness with our detoxification process.
Yeah.
And that's extra stored fat in the liver is not good. So if that's actually a supplement that you could take. You could either drink the ground, like I drink just pure olive matcha. It's called matcha, but it's not actually a green tea. It's literally just organic Spanish ground olive leaf, and I treat it as though I would treat a sencha tea or a matcha tea.
Okay.
I blend it with dates, and I don't, it's not a cold drink. It's not a raw drink. I do hot water, so it's like a morning warm drink. So because I don't eat maple syrup, or like on a normal basis, I don't eat maple syrup or raw honey. Just because that is a free sugar, and that can trigger my sugar addiction like hardcore. So I sweeten all of my food with dates. I sweeten all of my food with whole fruit. So I do that with our drinks. Like, our morning drinks are ground up olive leaf, hot water, and dates. And it's like, they're so good. I forgot to mention that with my daily routine. There's a lot of things I forgot to mention with my daily routine, by the way.
There's so much. Sometimes you don't think of it right off the bat,
Yeah. So Amy said, so is that fat attributed to dietary fat or dietary sugar? That's a really great question. I think it's a combination of oxidized cholesterol. I think it's like oxidized saturated fat. I think it's definitely due to free sugar, excessive free sugar, excessive flour, really refined foods. I think refined oils. It's also just, unfortunately, here's the truth. It's a lot to do with excessive calories. We're getting way too many calories and not enough nutrients. So people are nutrient deplete, but they have a calorie surplus. And that's just because of the standard American diet and the way that we are marketed to, with fluffy dogs running in the park and the pharmaceutical commercials and people circling around and in a field acting all happy, and eating burgers at the cookout. Like, we are literally programmed daily to think that eating the ice cream every night's normal, or that drinking the wine every night is totally a part of, and the lattes in the morning and the wine at night and the just it's the lifestyle that we're programmed to think is so normal. That is what's causing the excess fat. In addition, I definitely believe that, and there's proof to this, that the environmental toxins have a lot at play going on here. So again, what's in our water, what's in, the food packaging that our food comes in, the plastics, all of that stuff. So somebody said, does the ground dates make the tea less smooth? Yeah, it's something that you need to get used to. We've been doing it for like 4 years now, so we're totally used to it. And I use I use our Vitamix, but I don't use the plastic Vitamix container because I don't like to put hot liquids into that.
Okay.
I have the stainless steel Vitamix container, and So that way I know plastics aren't leaching into my hot liquid. But that really blends it very well. And if you blend it long enough, it will be frothy and pretty dang smooth, especially if you're not using the deglet dates, like those hard, like, give me the creamy, soft jewel dates, right? Like, I want the freaking caramel, like, those melt really well. If you have like if you have a blender that's not super fast, you could always soak your dates overnight in water. That's another way to soften them. But another way that you could make this is also to just simply make a date puree. We have date puree in our refrigerator at all times because we use it literally for dressing on salads. We use it for baked goods. We use it to put in drinks and stuff like that. Like if Cohen wants a lemonade, like our son wants a lemonade, we just take lemon, water, and we put the date puree in it. And all it is equal parts date, pitted medjool dates, and water. And we just blend that up, and we have that in the refrigerator. It lasts for weeks, and I will make like a large ball jar of it that we can use. You can sweeten your drinks that way too. And if you find that there's any little particles and that bothers you, you can always strain it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody says now she's curious about my morning routine. I eat a lot in the morning. I eat a lot in the beginning of the day. I've got all the things that I'm just like getting in. My olive leaf latte, my coconut water and ginger, like all the things.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot to get in. You know, we have a lot of nutrients, a lot of foods, and favorite supplements and things. But it's worth it. You know, we just have to make ourselves a priority and do what we got to do to age gracefully. And as we age, get to feel better and better, not worse. You know, and that's another thing we're conditioned to think and believe in society that, oh, you age and you're supposed to hurt and get old, and it's like, no, you just kind of get lazy, I think, and that's why people start to feel the things they feel because they're not as active anymore. They're not, eating healthy anymore. So you can stop all that and you can change that. So as you age, you can actually get healthier and feel better and look better and get stronger, and build muscle. So
I think, I think Rosie, maybe you and I should come together and create a little mini video course for the next bundle.
Yeah.
Literally talking about just that, because next time this bundle launches, I'll be 40. And that is a mindset to me that's like, this is when it actually begins. Like, this is when life starts. This is not when life starts to go downhill. This is not when you're supposed to get achy and inflamed and have less energy and start to gain weight, because that's what everybody thinks. Actually, this is your time to go. This is your time to take back your life. This is your time to drop the weight. Like, it does, just because I've seen time and time again clients of mine, like people that are even going through menopause, you do not have to gain weight and go through all the awful stuff.
No,
you can thrive. You can thrive through those periods of time in your life, and you can your life can be better. I love it.
Absolutely.
Love that you brought that up.
Yeah, it should be one of the most enjoyable times, and it's just all about, perspective and how we eat and how we exercise and how we learn to actually nourish our bodies in the different phases as well. And you were talking about exercise and how you do gentle exercise now. And that's something I like to talk and teach about too, because exercise for me is different now that I'm 51 than it was when I was 25, and I used to be really loved working out, really a lot and, weights, but through the years, but even now, you just have to learn to be in tune with your body and how much healing time you need in between certain types of exercises. And, and something that's pretty common that people say and they research is that, oh, well, as you get older, you need, more recovery time or rest time in between. And I have found that to be true a little bit as well. But the wonderful thing about that is that you get to rest more and recover more, and you still get to the tremendous benefits. So it's almost like, oh, I get more time off, It's
right.
Yeah. You recover and you actually see these tremendous benefits. And you're like, whoa, day 2 or 3, you're like, whoa, they just kicked in. It's like, wow, that workout I did 3 days ago, I'm seeing the benefits now because I slept and I got the recovery rest that my body needed and I nourished it, and from month to month, it can be different, sometimes you can work out more, and other months you're like, no, you know what, my body needs more rest this month. And then this month it's like, whoo, I got all this extra strength. I think I will do some weights and work out more. So yeah, it's interesting. I think just different phases of our lives, and they're all great phases. And we don't have to, like, in our mind be set that, you know, as we age that we're going to slow down. You know, it's not necessarily like you're just going to be sitting on the couch. You can, I mean, look at some of these amazing women, and they're like 60s and 70s, and they're just like sculpted, you know?
No, oh my God. Like I am totally going to be one of them. Like I am,
Yeah.
like I claim it right now.
Yeah.
I'm bringing back my Pilates roots from after I sold my studio, like
Uh-huh.
when our son was born 6.5 years ago. Like I'm bringing it back, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to show people that you can totally age gracefully. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. Like I can see it. It's
Absolutely.
going to happen.
Pilates.
Somebody also asked another question. Well, I also want to bring something up really quick, because I was telling you guys about the liver problems that I was having. Well, I didn't tell you actually about the liver
Yeah.
problems that I was having. I told you about the viral overload that I had, and that completely affected my liver, and my liver enzymes were elevated.
Okay.
So somebody asked earlier, you know, do they think that it's the excess fat or the excess sugar that's causing the fat in the excess fat in the liver? That so many people are walking around with excessive fat in their liver. They're walking around with non-alcoholic fatty liver, like so many people are. And like I said, it's not just the food. It's not just the fact that we're not moving enough. And it's not just the fact that there's environmental toxins out there, which are all related to excess fat in tissues where it shouldn't be, whether it be around your heart, whether it be around, you know, your visceral area and your organs like your liver. But also viral overload is directly linked to non-alcoholic fatty liver. So, you know, or hepatic steatosis. So you can have excessive fat build up in your liver as a protection mechanism against viruses or things in the body that your liver does not want to handle. So that
Right.
is something to know. So if you're struggling, just you might want to get your liver enzymes
Yeah.
checked, and
Yeah.
also start to go and find the root cause.
Right.
Very important. I definitely took my root cause practitioner certification in the last year. I'm like, I am getting to the bottom of
Yeah.
this. So somebody also asked any recommendations for fatigue right before menstrual cycle. I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you mine. And I have this is just, I just eat as much as I want during that time. If my body is like, I want carbohydrate. Now, if it says I want tons of chocolate, now you're not going to find me eating bars of chocolate. That does not happen anymore. I do not do that. But I will eat as many carbs as I need to feel good. And what I mean by carbs, it's like whole carbohydrates, like whole fruit or whole, you know, Hawaiian sweet potatoes, like the Okinawan ones that are just so good. And I am obsessed with them, and I order them from Hawaii. Like I'm obsessed. I love them so much. Whether that's whole grains or beans or whatever I need,
Yeah.
like I lean in on it, and it really helps my energy levels. Gosh, what else? I mean, anything that can just keep inflammation down helps my energy levels during that time as well. Do you have any tips on that, Rosie, that you've helped people with?
Yeah, just really nourishing yourself. Like you said, you mentioned, like, you know, eating the carbohydrates you need. And I know for me, you know, even being high raw, there's times where I'm like, oh, I just want beans. Like I'll crave beans,
Right?
like
Totally.
cooked fresh garbanzo beans or pinto beans. So it's like really just giving your body the nutrients that it needs. And if you need more during that time, then nourish yourself. Just make sure it's, you know, the high quality whole food, plant-based foods, and give your body enough of that, you know. And then the healthy fats like the avocados, like, you know, I love avocados, and I'll eat one a day, and I don't know, it just nourishes me and gives my brain the function that it needs, and it helps with our hormone balance. And it's a very nourishing time as well. So just make sure that you're resting and really, you know, lighting some candles and relaxing, and just really trying to reduce your stress during that time, and make sure that you're, you know, eating as healthy and as much nutrients as possible. People will notice a tremendous difference, especially if you're coming from a meat-based diet and traditional, you know, dairy, you know, standard American diet. people who come from that and then they go plant-based, whether it's, you know, cooked or high raw, they'll notice a tremendous difference in their menstrual cycle and their pain
Oh
and their
my God.
discomfort. So yeah.
So I mean, there's tons of scientific evidence behind that. People that do go plant-based, their risk, you know, their endometriosis goes away. Their, you know, menstrual cycles regulate. Their inflammation is knocked down. I personally find the more raw that I eat, the more regular I am.
Yeah.
And I will also say, back to that olive leaf that I was talking about earlier, get on, everybody should get on the olive leaf, but there's actually validity to it for endometriosis. And like I said, during like the premenopausal phase, and it's just actually a hormone balancer. So if you're looking for like a supplement, I guess you could look into olive leaf extract or olive leaf ground up. In addition, I am a big believer in flax seeds. I think that they really are so wonderful for hormonal regulation, especially for women. So leaning in on 1 to 3 tablespoons of ground flax seeds daily. I don't think that you have to do seed cycling. I don't think that you have to, you know, you have flax seeds at a certain time of your cycle in the month, or chia seeds at this time, or hemp seeds at this time. And that's like trendy, but I think just sticking to the flax 1 to 3 tablespoons per day is really powerful.
Yeah. Absolutely. I put them in my smoothie every day. I have flax seeds. So the other thing I will suggest for you, which is great for everybody, and something I do is I include Irish sea moss in my smoothies. So you're getting 90 to 102 minerals that we need. So I love to include that. And I think it really gives the body, you know, those minerals that it needs. It really helps to support the system to create healthy collagen too for our skin and just nourish our organs and all of the functions. So consider doing that.
Which brand do you use? Do you make your own sea moss gel?
I do. I make my own gel, and I get the you know, the dried Irish sea moss from Marcus Rothkranz. That's the one I use right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I see it's on Amazon.
Go ahead.
Somebody, I found it. It's on Amazon, I think.
Yeah. And I have it linked in the Amazon store, and if anybody wants to find it through there as well. My website is gethealthyandjuicy.com, and then I have my links through there. And Stacey, if anybody's interested in getting that olive leaf, how do they get that through you?
Yeah, that's at the link in my bio, or you can just DM me. Or you can go to olivetreepeople.com, and it would be awesome if you could put my name at the end when you go check out, because I am a consultant with this amazing European brand. It's so amazing. They just came over from to the United States about a year ago, and they've been in Europe for 20 years. So I think it's the best kept secret. Olive leaf is like one of the most healing things that people are not talking nearly enough about or know about. So yeah, you can go to the link in my bio and shop Waterless Beauty, or you can just DM me or go to olivetreepeople.com and find it. The particular ground up tea that I'm talking about is called the I-47 pure ground olive leaf. But there's also a tincture that was the very first product ever created, because the man actually that owns this brand healed himself with the olive tree. He was bedridden from gut issues. And like a wildly successful real estate man, super wealthy, super well off, but like really sick, and actually healed himself with this ancient wisdom from the olive tree. There's also this olive leaf concentrate. It's a camu vitamin C berry with olive leaf concentrate. Super powerful, great for so many things. Tons of scientific backing on this. So on olive leaf concentrate, so people can look into that as well.
Okay, those look awesome. And what do you have in the vegan health bundle? You guys, if you want the vegan health bundle, it's an $8,000 value for only $49. And I have the juice and meal plan book in there. And we're going to hear from Stacey right now what she has in there. And there's just the wraps we were talking about. Those are in there. Desserts, raw foods, cooked foods, plant-based doctors. There's just yoga programs. There's so much in there, and you can pick it up. The link is in our bios if you guys want to get it today. But Stacey, tell us what you have in the bundle.
Yeah, I have two contributions. Usually when I'm in bundles, it's like just recipes from me, but this time it's not. It's actually I did like the I did the mini video course with Dr. Steph Peacock about we called it mystery illnesses. And it's really just about how to support your liver detoxification pathways through lifestyle and food. And we have some recipes in that. And
Okay.
then also I created a it's actually like for wealth, because there wasn't anything in the bundle about that. And I think it's really important to have
Mm-hmm.
not just health, but also wealth. I think they go hand in hand, so that we can make a big impact in this world. And I share my tips and tricks on how to brand yourself if you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you are in network marketing or you have a product to offer or a service to offer, or you just want to kind of learn about what it would be like to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I give some of my tips and tricks on how to brand yourself so that you can attract your ideal client and serve the people that you want to serve so that you can show up with your purpose driven life. So it's called How to Brand Yourself as a Holistic Entrepreneur. So
Okay.
that's my other contribution in there. And
Awesome.
I mean, gosh, there's just so many amazing things in this bundle. There is meal prep, there is, cooking for company, there is gut health, there is infection protection from Dr. Furman.
Yeah.
And then there's Sarah. I can't say her last name, but she's the Better Food Guru. She has like over 1 million followers on Instagram. This woman knows how to cook. She's a chef, and like, oh my God, she creates the most amazing videos on Instagram. Everybody needs to go follow her. She's in the bundle. She created a oil-free recipe book because everything is oil-free in the bundle.
Right.
Everything is free of animal products. I will just say somebody asked that question. Do either of us eat animal products? No, we don't. We just eat
No.
all plants. Like that's the way we've been living for both of us well over a decade. For you, Rosie, most of your life.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally possible to exist, not just to exist on just plants, but to thrive. It's 100% possible. And it's just waiting for you if you are open to it. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. This bundle is not here to convert you to a vegan. That
Yeah.
is not what this is about. This is to help you literally just get more plants on your plate. That is just the most important thing. So it's just, that's directly linked to reducing your risk of all-cause mortality. If you want to reduce your risk of high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high body weight, inflammation, plants are where it's at. Plants will help you heal. So.
Yep, absolutely. No matter what your diet is, you can include more plants and veggies for health and healing. In my recipe book that's in there, guys, I have different juice recipes. This is the green body balancer right here. I have my strength and beauty mix, as well as different, kale salads and raw dressings, like my Thousand Island type dressing, and turmeric juice, and just all kinds of healthy things, desserts, because it's real important when you're wanting to eat, more healthy foods, that you have foods that are going to taste good and make you feel good and get excited to have them. So yeah, I just created this, during my healing journey, and just all the recipes and my tips and tricks and meal options.
Oh my God.
So
wow. Okay,
yeah.
Rosie, I just had a major awakening moment here. I'm looking at your recipes, and well, by the way, if anybody's inspired and they want to get the bundle, please go to either of our bios and grab it, because it's going to be gone forever on March 10th, like forever, ever.
Yeah.
There's 150 contributions, which brings everything down to less than 50 cents each. It's going to be a $39 investment one time, and then the content is yours for life. I just realized that our son this morning, literally at 6 a.m., I was like, honey, we're making a juice from the bundle, and I'm going to record you. And I'm going to record him. So I hit play, and guess what it is? It's the Protect and Rejuvenate juice from your book.
He picked that?
Yeah, and we made it on. I know we gave the ingredients, but we didn't give the exact amount because we didn't want to give your full recipe away, right? But tomorrow morning, you're airing it, and my son made it at 6 a.m. Usually he's like, we're making this, and he's like all energized, but it was literally 6 a.m. He was like, this morning we're making the Protect and Rejuvenate juice, and it's so cute, and it's so good. He
Oh,
loved
good.
it.
I'm so glad that he chose that and loved it. That's awesome. That
Out
is
of the
wonderful.
2,000 recipes,
Yeah.
my son is screaming in the background. Out of the 2,000 recipes in the bundle, he chose that. So
That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you to your son. Tell him he knows how to choose good juice.
absolutely, he
Yeah.
does. He does. He loves juice. We
So,
just love it so much. So
yeah.
maybe Rosie, before the bundle's over, maybe you and I should jump on together again and do some sort of cooking demo if we can pull it off, because I think that
Yeah.
would be really fun. We can talk more about raw
Yeah.
food healing
Do
and
it.
the
Let's look
impact that
at our
that can make.
schedules and we'll get together, see what works for us. That sounds fun. Definitely.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks
Thank
everybody for
you.
tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, everybody. And thanks, Stacey. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.